Holocaust Memories Never Forget. A Gentile baby boomer's painful journey into the Shoah. Section 6. Brutalste Gewalt. Brutal Violence. Part 8. From the 1st of January 1943 until the end of the war, May 1945. No one has ever accused the German people of being indolent sluggards who consistently waited around for other nations to get things done. History has shown that few other cultures have, in such a short period of time, accomplished so much and changed the world so dramatically as the Germans. In terms of business practices, industrial innovation, and finding the most numerous and successful uses for the Earth's natural resources, they established a seemingly insurmountable lead over all their competitors starting in the early 1800s and continuing well into the 20th century. One of those who realized this fact as a young veteran of World War I, and who took full advantage of it for his own personal benefit later, was Adolf Hitler. As Hitler rose higher in Germany's political arena, he cultivated strong ties with Germany's most successful business and industrial leaders, nearly all of whom helped finance the Nazi Party. These men also shared his vision of a Germany that was powerful, feared, militarily invincible, and destined to rule a world that would be Judenfrage, or free of Jews. With the enormous power invested in Hitler by the passing of the Enabling Act on 23 March 1933, he used his full dictatorial powers to engage the nation's top industrialists in ways that would begin fulfilling their shared goals. Hitler was also astute enough to tap into an emotion which burned deep within the hearts and minds of most Germans: their hatred of Jews. Not surprisingly, the men who controlled Germany's financial and industrial might were eager to please the Führer in any way possible, especially if it meant expanding their businesses and enriching themselves even further. Long before the invasion of Poland on the 1st of September 1939, most of these wealthy, cold-hearted anti-Semites were so inexorably entangled with Hitler's vision of world domination and ridding Europe of Jews that they were willing to go to any lengths to help him succeed. Among the activities that his industrial allies participated in was the use of slave labor. In 1932, the Nazi Party was nearly bankrupt and not only needed a large influx of capital simply to remain in existence, but also needed help covering the expenses of spreading their message throughout Germany in preparation for the 1932 general election. After being appointed chancellor on the 30th of January 1933, Hitler knew that his long-term plan to take over all of Europe by force would be impossible without the financial and moral support from these powerful men. With those and other serious goals in mind, he had Hermann Göring set up a secret gathering for the 20th of February 1933, to which every major leader in the world of German industry, business, and finance was invited. The meeting was held at Göring's Berlin residence, where Hitler made some rash statements in hopes of convincing these men to accept his aggressive agenda. One of the most compelling assertions Hitler made, and surely had them leaning forward anxiously awaiting more good news, was that private enterprise was significantly easier to operate when functioning outside a democracy. Along with promising them numerous lucrative contracts in the future, the Führer added that if they would stand behind the Nazi Party politically and financially, he would eliminate any interference from the Communist Party or trade unions. No one had to explain to these men that with Hitler now in charge, they could conduct business without having to deal with labor issues, lawsuits, or employee grievances, all of which translated into much higher profits. At evening's end, more than 2 million Deutschmarks had been promised to his cause, although some researchers believe the real number was much higher. One thing which surprises many people about Germany is hearing the names of the industries and companies which aided Hitler and were guilty of war crimes. Even in the 21st century, many of them ring quite familiar. As leader of the Nazi Party in the late 1920s and early 1930s, Hitler cultivated strong, lasting relationships with the most successful industrialists, businessmen, and bankers. In Parts 9 and 10, we'll examine some of the major industrial organizations which were critical in Hitler's ability to wage war against Europe, the Soviet Union, and eventually the major Western powers of the world.